Here's something nobody wants to say out loud. Caitlin Clark didn't just save the WNBA. She handed the Players Association the most dangerous weapon they've ever possessed. And in 2026, they might actually use it. Because right now, the league is staring down a potential work stoppage. Not during some random rebuilding phase, not when viewership was struggling, but at the exact moment when the sport finally broke through. When momentum was undeniable. When casual fans were converting into diehards. And the person who created all of that momentum, she's the reason the strike threat is so devastating. This isn't about whether Caitlin Clark is talented. That debate ended the moment she pulled nearly 19 million viewers for a college championship game. This is about something far more uncomfortable. Her success created leverage, and leverage creates conflict, and conflict, if mishandled, destroys everything. Let's break down how we got here, because this story isn't what you think it is. If you believe the story behind the story matters, smash that like button. It tells us we're on the right track. And trust me, what we're about to uncover goes way deeper than anyone's been willing to admit. For nearly 3 decades, the WNBA operated from a position of scarcity, fighting for broadcast windows, fighting for investment, fighting for legitimacy. Every conversation about the league came with an invisible asterisk. Can it survive? Will people actually care? Does women's basketball deserve this level of attention? Away the hype? Strip away the social media narratives? What did Caitlin Clark actually do on the court? She broke the league's single-season assist record as a rookie. She recorded the first rookie triple-double in WNBA history. She became the first rookie in over a decade to earn first-team All-WNBA honors, and she directly generated over 45% of her team's total offense. Only a handful of players in modern basketball, men or women, have carried that kind of load immediately. No developmental buffer, no learning curve allowance. But here's where skeptics always pushed back. Stats are one thing, context is another. So let's talk about context. Caitlin Clark's average three-point attempt distance hovers around 28 feet. That's deeper than the NBA's deepest volume shooters, nearly 6 feet beyond the official three-point line. Defensive schemes simply aren't built for that range. When one player stretches the floor that far, help defenders hesitate. Rotations arrive late, passing lanes widen, secondary scorers thrive. She doesn't just score points, she forces defensive systems to malfunction. That's not style, that's structural influence. And the league noticed, franchise valuations increased. Endorsement opportunities expanded league-wide. Charter flights became normalized instead of debated. Broadcast negotiations shifted tone entirely. For the first time, the conversation wasn't about whether the WNBA deserved investment. It was about how much investment it could handle. Many of you have been saying this for months. Something felt different about this momentum. Not manufactured, not obligation-driven, genuine curiosity. People who had never watched the league wasn't prepared for the scale of transformation Caitlin Clark triggered. Not because they didn't want her to succeed, but because nobody, and I mean nobody, predicted she would reframe what success looks like this quickly. She didn't just meet expectations. She obliterated the ceiling everyone thought existed. And once that happens, there's no going back. You can't unexpand an audience. You can't unprove that massive ratings are possible. You can't pretend the old revenue model still makes sense when the new reality is staring everyone in the face. The WNBA is no longer asking to be noticed. It's deciding how to handle being watched. And that's a completely different challenge. One of the clearest signs that this moment matters, watch what happens with expansion discussions. For years, Expansion was a distant dream. Maybe someday. Maybe if the numbers improve. Now, cities are lobbying for franchises, ownership groups are forming. The conversation shifted from if to when and where. That doesn't happen without belief, and belief doesn't exist without proof. Caitlin Clark provided the proof. So here's where we are. The league has unprecedented momentum. The players have unprecedented leverage, and both sides are staring at a 2026 deadline that could either cement this growth phase or shatter it completely. If you've been following this story closely, you already know what happens next. We're going to be tracking every development, every negotiation update, every signal from the Players Association and the league office. Because this isn't just about basketball. This is about whether women's sports can sustain breakthrough momentum or whether structural issues will derail progress at the exact wrong moment. Make sure you're subscribed and notifications are on. Because when this story breaks, and it will break soon, you're going to want to know immediately. And we're going to cover every angle the mainstream media won't touch. The WNBA finally got its transcendent star. The question is whether it can handle what comes next.